Would you like your children to feel sorry when they've done something that's not okay and apologize because they want to, not because you make them? And hello, my name is Miriam Chachamu. I'm a family psychotherapist, and this is the second of two videos on this topic. And the first is called "Sorry Seems to be the Hardest Word," and it explains how come it's difficult for many of us to apologize and what parents can do in order to make it easier in their home to offer and accept apologies. And if you haven't watched it, I think it's going to be very useful, and please do. It's only 6 minutes. And here I'm going to offer a 5-point plan to tackle things that actually went wrong. So say your child hit somebody or threw some things in the air, like their toys or food in the air, and you want to address it, that this is going to give you a roadmap of how to do that. But before I go into the plan, I want to say two things. And the first one is, most people, children as well, when they realize that they've done something wrong, they become quite remorseful. But this only lasts until somebody tells them off. At that point, they start defending themselves. So we want to work within this window of opportunity between the child realize that something's wrong. Sometimes we need to help the child understand that, because sometimes they don't even understand that what they've done is not okay or was hurtful. And we want to expand this window to give the child an opportunity to think about what they've done and then to feel sorry, and then they're going to say it. But a lot of the times what happens in real life, they've done something wrong and immediately somebody tells them off, so this window of opportunity becomes nothing. It just disappears. And the second thing I wanted to say is that we want to think about our children like little people that are learning to do the right thing, that haven't learned it yet. So they haven't learned to understand how their actions affect others. They haven't learned even sometimes to understand that other people have got a different perspective and different needs than their own. And basically they haven't learned to regulate their emotions, and they haven't learned to behave. And this is what they're learning. So if they've done something wrong, it's not because something's wrong with them. It's just because they haven't learned it just yet. And my 5-point plan is very easy to understand, but like everything here and everything about being a good mindful parent, it is quite difficult to actually put into practice. But I'm going to suggest it to you, and I hope you can do it. It is doable. So the first step is to just calm down. A lot of the times when something goes wrong, we want to fix it, we want to address it straight away, there and then, but everybody's upset. You're upset, your child's upset, other people around you may be upset, and all that's going to happen is that people are going to shout at each other and say rude things to each other, and it's just going to escalate. So the first thing is to check that you're actually in a place where you can really use your compassion and reasoning, and that can only happen once you calm down, and that could take a while. So you can address things later. You don't have to address things at that time. The second step in this process is to establish what happened. So you can just ask your child, what happened? I could see you throwing toys in the air. What was going on there? And if you're asking out of curiosity, in this tone of voice that I'm using now, the chances are that the child's going to reply, and they're going to probably tell you the truth. And you can check to see what's going on, because sometimes other people have done things that weren't great, that contributed to the situation. Maybe it's even you, maybe you weren't very clear about what was going on, and the child has an expectation that they can play, and then you said no, or something like that may have happened. Now, a lot of the times I find that it's very hard for us to do this second step, because we finally have peace and quiet and we just don't want to rock the boat. But if you are able to approach things with curiosity, the chances are that things are not going to erupt again, and that you are going to have a sensible conversation. So please do it. So this was the second step. And now the third one is to ask a question along the lines of, if you could turn back the clock and do things differently, what would you do differently? What could you have done differently? And a lot of the time, children will just say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have hurt you, I shouldn't have pushed, I shouldn't have done this and that, and I'd instead do something else. And that's great. You can compliment them for that and move to the fourth stage, which is about putting things right. So apologizing is a part of it, but it may not be enough. It's possible that they've hurt someone, broken something that they need to mend, to fix, to pay for. Maybe they need to do something for the person that they've hurt to make it up for them. So sorry is great, and usually at that point they will be very ready to say sorry, but it's not necessarily everything they need to do. It could be that they need to do more than that. And then the fifth stage is about learning for the future. You and them thinking, what went wrong, what wasn't great, maybe they were too tired and you were trying to do too much, maybe they can learn something for the future and just try and implement it in the future. And when that's done, that fifth stage is done, all you have to do is hug your child and completely let go and move on. You don't need to mention it, you don't need to be angry about it, you really addressed it properly and you can move on now. And when I was talking about younger children, or implying that I'm talking about younger children, but I actually realized as I was speaking to you that last week I filmed a scenario with an actor that played a teenager, and I was using this structure without even realizing this. So if you want to see how this works with teenagers, come back next week. And in the meantime, all the best and enjoy your children. Thank you.